Okay, can we come to order? Welcome to the Town Council meeting. We'll start at the agenda. Item number 1, to receive and accept apologies for absence.
And we do have quite a few. We've got Stan and Sue Heaven, Keith Prince, Keith Gilbert, Tina Cruz, Tina Cadell and Charlotte Greeno. I think that's everybody. Yeah, mostly illness.
Okay, I think what we've been doing is accepting each individual apology rather than the lot. So can we accept Sue Heaven's apology? Yes, we're all happy with that. Thank you. Stan Hebbins? Yeah, okay. Charlotte Greeno? Yeah, okay. Keith Gilbert? You did say Keith, didn't you? Okay. Keith Prince? Happy to accept those. Tina Cadell? Happy to accept hers. Okay, happy to accept that. Yes. All right. Well, you say yeah. Well, one person said yes. That's fine then, unless you're all going to say no. And then Tina Cruz. Yeah, we're happy with that. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Okay, item 2. That is everybody, isn't it? Okay. Item 2, to note declarations of members' personal, prejudicial and disclosable pecuniary interests in respect to the items on the agenda. Anybody want to declare any interest? No? No. Okay. Item 3.1, to confirm that the minutes of the meeting held on July the 26th are a true and accurate record. Can somebody move that? Pat, okay. Seconder? Yeah. Those in favour? Okay. And abstentions, which is Kath and I, because we weren't here, so we couldn't approve them. Okay. You just give me a second just to... Yep. Okay. To receive reports and items from the last minutes not already on the agenda. Jane?
I've got an update.
Then can I suggest, Jane, that you email the other councillors who aren't here to give them that date? Okay? Thanks, John. Catherine?
I would like to discuss an update about legal matters, but can I ask that we discuss it under the line, please?
Yes, that's fine. Okay. Anything else? Nope. Chairman's report? Well, the chairman isn't here. Actually, she hasn't sent a report.
Sue
She
has, yes, just to say that she attended the Remembrance Parade meeting on the 27th of July, judged the Watton in Bloom, that was over the 29th, 30th and 31st, and attended the Zoom meeting about the officers' mess site on the 2nd of August. So.
Okay. Vice Chairman's report, which is me, and I've been away, so I haven't got the report, except I had a very nice holiday, for those who wanted to know. Clerk's report.
I did mention in my pack that I am sort of pushing forward and trying to get some quotes and advice on refurbishing the toilets. Since putting the notice on the .gov find a tender website, I have had one or two more companies come back and say, yes, they might be interested in the works, including a local firm at Dereham who do toilet refurbishment and work with Suffolk County Council. The rep is coming out tomorrow at 11 to have a look at the toilets. He's then coming back to the office. I mean, should anybody want to come along, please do so. But that just is to have a look and perhaps give us a bit of advice. He did sound quite keen to help, so that was quite good, putting it on the website. Otherwise, I have sent round Norfolk ALC newsletters recently, and for people who have taken it and had a look at those. One about taking the pledge, which might be something we should look at as a council, whether we do it or not. That's something perhaps for a future agenda. And the latest one, I think, was the Wellbeing newsletter, which gave the format for an emergency plan, the template for an emergency plan, which I think we've looked at before, but just a bit of a reminder that it's there if we want to make use of that. And Sam Chapman-Allen and Rob Walker are still planning to attend the meeting on September the 27th. So just if you want to note that date, and if we've got any questions prior to that, they'd like to sort of be informed of what might come up.
Okay, anybody else?
7th of September, the meeting, town council meeting that night.
I've got two things, Jane. Have we had a response yet from whoever is supposed to be painting the lampposts?
No, it's on. So other than I asked if we are on the list, I'm being told not at the moment, or it's not. No dates are scheduled.
Okay.
I've passed that back to the county councillor actually to see if we get any help from her. To
Well,
push it.
I was going to
That's
suggest
as far as I've got.
something else there. We had a email in from Brexton, which you very kindly told us to read all the way through. And if you did, you found out it was to do with Barn and Broom. Stan sent an email out. I don't know whether everybody got it. So could I suggest that we write to our county councillor and say to her at the next meeting when she gives her report, could she give us an update on when we're going to get our lampposts painted? We've been waiting 3 years and they promise every year they're going to do it. So could she chase that one up for us? And secondly, I think Stan asked a question about the Barn and Broom issue. Can you take what he said and write to her and ask her to include that in her report as well? Is that all right with everyone? Okay. Item 5, we come to public participation. Got members of the public. Are you wishing to participate in this bit now? Come up here if you like and switch the microphone on then, or shout. Okay, well, none of those items actually come under the town council, but the issue to do with the crossing, we'll ask the clerk to write to highways and ask them, is there a reason why that one isn't working with the bleeping sound? Okay. And the parking on the pavement, there is a parking enforcement officer who comes at various times, and supposedly not always the same time. We'll ask them if they'll come out and look at parking on the pavement, and if necessary, book people who are doing it. Well, yeah. No, but we can do that. Okay. Sorry, Don? That's right.
I mean, you would hope that there'd be some sympathy towards people being upset about this, because let's not forget that we used to have the market on the high street, and one of the reasons that the market was moved was because it was restricting the pavement areas and was obstructing people who were using, the chairs and so on, and had disability issues. So really, there should be some sympathy towards this as an issue.
Just ask, it is chiefly the high street we're talking about, or any areas particularly?
Well, we'll contact the parking enforcement department, which is in Kings Lynn, and we'll ask them to come out and do a survey. Okay, thanks very much indeed. Okay, when we come to the allotment, you might want to ask something, yeah. Item 6, to consider involvement with the Breck World app. Jane?
Oh, no more than the email received, to be honest. So I think it is something, it's whether we do want to get involved, and if so, is it going to be a certain group of councillors? So really, I think over to you guys, what you feel.
2 or 3 weeks ago, it might be a month ago now, I spoke to Ryan, who was the person who did the app in the first place, and they're now updating it for Brickland Council. He phoned me up in relation to Swaffham and doing some stuff in Swaffham, and I explained that I was a Watton Town Councillor now, and he offered to do some stuff on a walk around Watton in relation to the museum, and perhaps adding the museum into the Brick World bit. I asked him what the cost would be, and he said that they had got the funding, so the cost to us would be 0. So I just think that even if it doesn't go out as far as they think it's going to go, there's no monetary ties for us. It's worth going for.
Does anyone know, I mean, you may know, is this the thing that they were doing before, one of them, I believe it was this one,
Stephen Fry, yeah.
And you could get it on the phone, and it must be over a year ago.
Oh, longer than that, yeah. Yeah, you can still access it, but initially it was only for Apple phones, I think. It wouldn't work on Androids and stuff, but it's now available on all platforms. Yeah.
Catherine?
Would it be appropriate perhaps to get Ryan to come and speak to the Heritage Working Group? Because we're more or less finishing on the heritage map now. We've just got to make decisions about getting them located.
Mail does say we need local historians to pinpoint the top 10 points of interest so we can build an interactive heritage trail. So I think it would be worth him meeting with the heritage group, because that will include the Watton history, local history lot. So are you happy for us to go ahead and do it that way? Yeah. Okay, fine.
Make contact with him and suggest
See if we
that.
can fix a date up.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Item 7. To agree how water can be accessed more easily at the Thetford Road allotments. Now, gentlemen, I suppose you want to have a word about something in a second about that. Yeah. Yep, sorry, carry on. That's it, okay, thank you. The total cost you've got down, Jane, would be about £700. That's for our contractor to do it, okay. And that would match the plans that the allotment holders have asked, okay. Right, we'll deal with that one in a second. You're also asking there, Jane, to extend the tenancy to run from April the 1st to the 1st of September each year, because most other allotments, they work on a September through as opposed to an April. So I understand. Okay.
Just us in the office thinking that would give us a chance to talk to the allotment holders more and get a better tenancy agreement in place, and just perhaps hopefully work a bit better and clear up one or two issues that have possibly been not dealt with so well in the past, really. So really that's one way we can sort of do that, to rewrite the allotment tenancy agreement, but that would give us plenty of time and give the guys at the allotments a chance if we are making changes.
Any change to the tenancy agreement wouldn't happen till September 2023, so it's not going to happen now. So any tenancy agreement everybody's got now remains exactly the same. But what we would look to do then is extend your tenancy agreement from Easter or April 2023 through to September. And then we'd start with a new tenancy agreement then. But then we'd be able to look at other issues to do with costs, etc. And you would have the right, obviously, to say, could you include this in it? Okay? So that's one of the proposals we're going to make. So let's go back and do the first one. Are you happy to get our contractor to implement a water trough, etc., with the labour costs, which would be £700? Sorry, are you asking a question, Pat? Yeah, okay.
Just, the trough and that, is that what was there before?
What was there before was when we had the water put in, we had a tap, and that was enclosed. The idea being that somebody would have a key and open it up, but what was happening then, people putting their hands up underneath and opening it up, etc. Is it on now, the tap, or not?
There is access to water now, and it was difficult for people to keep the tap running to fill the containers they wanted to fill. I mean, the gentleman will probably explain better than me. If
You want to explain? Go on. Thank you very much. That's very helpful. Pat?
I get that, but I meant before we put the tap in, I remember that, discussing the tap and everything, and we deliberately wanted one that pushed so that it wouldn't just run away. But how did they get the water before that?
They brought it in containers themselves. And if you remember, there were a lot of complaints about the number of containers that were being left around the place. But everybody had to ship their own water in before.
Right, okay.
Okay. James, did you can say anything? No. Okay. Right. I'll put it then that we go ahead with this proposal at the cost of £700 plus VAT. Those in favour? Okay. Anybody against? Anybody abstaining? Right. One abstention. Thank you. Now the next thing is then. So yeah, go on. Yeah, well, we'll get our contractors to do it as soon as he's been told. And as soon as he can fit it in. We're in his hands, but, okay. The second thing is, are you in agreement that we should, in April 2023, extend the allotment leases until the September so they can be revamped and we can have further discussions with the allotment holders? Are you happy to do that? Yeah, all in favour? That's fine? Yeah, okay.
Can I just ask a question on that?
Go on.
Will the fees remain the same?
Well, Pat, that will be one of the discussions that will take place. Okay. Thank you very much for attending and explaining to us about the trough, etc. Okay. Well, you can leave unless you're riveted and wanted to stay. And there's something better on television, is there? That's fine. Okay.
On this other allotment issues is a bit about antisocial behaviour. Could we forward that to the SNAP meetings?
Now, 7.1, thought they all rushed off. They should have waited to find out. We would like to nominate a lead councillor for the allotments. Now, please do not fall over each other in the rush to volunteer. Well, if nobody's going to volunteer, I'm not, can I suggest it goes on the next agenda, and if nobody volunteers then, well, we just don't end up with the lead councillor for the allotments. No, it isn't. But we'll give those who aren't here today an opportunity, and perhaps, Jane, when you send the stuff out to the next meeting, point out to those who will be unable to attend that if they want to be nominated, we'd be only too happy to do so. No.
In the office, we were just thinking if we are going to meet with the allotment holders, it might be good to have another body there now and again, to be honest. Just.
But it doesn't mean they've got to go down and ask everybody, are they happy?
No. No, that was just it.
They are solved.
Right.
Are you all happy
Thanks,
for
Don. Yeah.
Don to be the allotment councillor? you happy that we allot that job to him? Sorry, Catherine.
Just partly in answer, I think, to the question Toby's asking. The lead councillor role, we came up with that, not so much so you got a person who had a particular experience or expertise within an area, but sometimes it's just helpful for the people in our office staff to be able to say, oh, well, there's a councillor who can come and attend that sort of meeting with us. So it's having more of a contact, I think, with the councillors.
And I think it's helpful, and Peter at the cemetery, it's very useful with a call on somebody just for that either a little bit of support or a view from the council side rather than us in the office, to be honest.
Well, you know what they say, the sun only shines on the righteous, Tom, so. Okay, right, let's move on. Item 8, to agree future plans for the redundant water fountain feature at the Memorial Gardens. Jane?
This came about because it's been on our works in progress list for a long time. Once we knew the cost of sort of putting electricity back, I think we decided that we wouldn't want to necessarily reinstate the fountain for various reasons, as well as the cost of the electricity supply. It's now a question of, do we need to tidy it up at all? I think make it look a bit better than it does at present, or whatever suggestions people have to get it off the works in progress list more than anything.
Ollie?
I think because it is part of the heritage, isn't it? It's a heritage site, really. If we can just tidy it up and make it a little bit more of a feature, I think that would be a lot more practical than having to put in electricity or anything for it.
James?
Is this just a lump of concrete behind that piece of metal? Is that part of that stone, or is that part of the water feature? What was the water feature?
To my knowledge, it's part of what it says. It's stone and metal
Okay.
from.
For me, it just looks like it needs a good sort of jet wash down, really, and anything else.
The plaque on it might need re-engraving, I don't know. It certainly needs cleaning up. But and I think if it's going to be a feature, people need to know what it is that's there. So can we ask the clerk to get some costs together for us for that? Jane?
Yes. Now, I'm just thinking there's still the fitment there for the water feature, isn't there? The fountain.
I believe there is something under the ground there.
So that should really be taken out and it cleaned up and a new plaque put in. I think that should tidy it all up, and then we can just forget about it for a while.
Well, we're going to. Somebody might say, and I don't know, that because it's been capped off already, it doesn't need any more doing to it under the ground. But I don't know. So if we ask Jane to find out for us,
It just looks like something's been
yeah,
it's a bit missing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like an unfinished thing or a broken thing.
well, we'll ask. I think it's a piece of metal from Hangar 1, and it says this was from Hangar 1. All I was thinking about was getting that cleaned up, and it needs re-engrave it. Oh, yes, not getting anything new. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Don. You've got to keep the solar panels clean. And if it gets cloudy, it all stops. And it depends whether it's, I don't know, underground, whether it's a water supply that's linked to the mains or to a reservoir, because if it's reservoir, the water just goes monkey after it. But anyway.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say about that area is notorious for a lot of drunken people being round there. There's already been things stolen, like there was a plaque from the Watton Society stolen from the cattle trough, which they straw all over. So if there's any kind of fitment in there, if it's movable, it'll get broken.
So where? Catherine?
No, I was just going to say the other thing with the fountain is the amount of maintenance it takes in cleaning it. And even if it's a small one, it still takes a fair amount of maintenance, particularly with all the shrubs and bushes around there. You get it filled with leaves.
Anyway, well, the clerk's going to go away and find out what she can find out and bring a report back. Item 9 was to agree volunteers to we should say man the promotion. We say that anymore. Anyway, we've already agreed that, the last bit, so it's really just to confirm that if anybody else wants to volunteer, they can do what we've got. 3, 4 names? 6 names? No. All right. Oh, the sheet's over here, so if anybody else wants to sign it, sign up. Okay, item 10, to review and accept the training and development policy with suggested amendments. And that came out in your pack to you, I believe.
There's only minor amendments. I mean, unless anybody sort of really wants to have a look at rewriting the policy completely, I guess. But it is just to say that we've reviewed it really at this point.
And the only suggestions are in 3.1 to remove during regular meetings with councillors, and in 3.3 replace councillors with their line manager. They're the amendments. Just, are you happy with that? Did we go ahead with that? Okay. Item 11 is to review and accept volunteer agreement with suggested amendments. The suggested amendments are bullet point 1, under induction and training to be reworded to provide you with an induction to your volunteering role. That's what's to go in instead. Bullet point 2, under supervision, support and flexibility, remove the word and replace with a comma. You can't have a comma and together in a sentence, grammatically incorrect. So I've mentioned that. And under bullet point 4, under the volunteer to be reworded as, if required to, provide referees who may be contacted. So with those amendments, are you happy to accept that amended document? Yeah, fine, thank you. Right. Item 12, and Jane, over to you.
Okay, we just got the one this week. That's 12.1, 3pn 2022-0021 P&E. Notification of intention to erect a single-storey rear extension and conservatory projecting from the original rear wall by 5.26 metres deep with a maximum height of 3.770 metres and an eaves height of 2.34, 42 Pingo Road. I don't see any issues with it. Has anybody got anything they wanted to bring up?
I don't, except 5.26 metres is very big, isn't it?
It is. Probably what needs consent.
Well, they'd have to have a big garden, wouldn't
They have got a reasonable garden. I wouldn't say it was big by modern standards, but reasonable. Nobody got any? Anyone got any issues they want to raise? No? Okay, no comment.
Thank you very much, Jane. Okay, can we pass a resolution to exclude the press and public to consider, it says here, cemetery matters?